a video on these wild garlic seed head pods. Um, so my wild garlic has flowered, and it's John the turn now. So all the leaves are kind of like had it really. Then there's not much. You could pick one or two out and they'd be okay to eat. But they're starting to go a little bit yellow and a little bit past it. It's flowered, and the seed pods just there. It's not wanting to focus on the phone. So the seed pods are just there. They're green at the moment, but in a couple of days they'll go black, and then the seeds will start coming out of them, and which will mean they'll start seeding the ground, which is not what I want. I don't want my garden to be completely overrun. So I'm going to you kind of chop them back to get rid of them. I wonder if we can focus on this one. This one's a bit better. There you go there. So they'll turn black in a couple of days, but we can collect the seeds and we can use them like a spice. So what I'm going to do is because I've got quite a lot of them, to save space, I'm just going to nip off the head from those and leave them on a tray somewhere in the sunshine, in a bit of warmth. They're very garlicky. It smells really garlicky, but they won't be very garlicky. So leave them in the sunshine to dry out for a couple of days. The seeds will pop out of them, and then we can collect the seeds, and then we can use them in cooking. Now, I did have some from last year, but I went out for dinner with my sister and brother-in-law, and I told her she'd pick some more garlic, and I said to her, she picked the flowers. It's illegal, but it's only wild garlic and it's everywhere. Bluebells are something that you really shouldn't be picking, but wild garlic, and I kind of said to her, I said, oh, just set the seed pods from the flowers and dry them, and then use them as a herb. I knew she wouldn't do it really. So what I did was I took my last year's seeds that I still had some, and gave her those, so what we call it, those seeds. So she'll be able to use them in cooking. I kind of use them like nigella seeds, so they're nice, added to things or crushed up, kind of as a bit of a garlic substitute. I suppose we could do something with those, couldn't we? We could dry those out. I don't want to do that. I haven't decided. Anyway, so cut these off, leave them somewhere in the sunshine, warm. The seeds will start popping out of them, and then we can separate the seeds from all the bits of flour and all that kind of stuff, and we can have a spice. So a couple of days, 3 days, 4 days, maybe a week, and they'll be fine to have a look at. So it's been a couple of days, and the seed pods are starting to turn yellow, and we've even had some seeds pop out. So we've just got some of these seeds that have popped out of one of the seed pods. It's going to take a little while for them to dry out and the seeds start popping out, so it's just a case of keeping an eye on them. But there's some more down there. See, these ones have gone yellow, which generally suggest, I'll use that because it's close to the top. Those ones have gone yellow, which kind of suggests that they're getting close to ready to pop, and you just leave it until they're all popped out of the of the seed pods. And then what we'll do is we'll separate the seeds out from from the debris and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll just leave them on the tray for just a little bit, another couple of days, just to dry them out and dry off all that kind of excess moisture. So when we put them in a clean jar with a lid, and put them in an airtight container, they will keep indefinitely. Well, not indefinitely. Eventually they will just kind of turn to dust over thousands of years. But for long-term storage, for like up to a year, or potentially putting those in the garden to seed some wild garlic. But there you go. Do we need to see me separating it out? Possibly, because it can be. See, we've got all this kind of debris here, and we don't really want to. It's a case of we're going to pick them out individually. I'll think of maybe if I'm doing it, I'll see if there's an easy way of kind of picking out the seeds and getting rid of all kind of debris. I think maybe kind of like gently blowing off all these dry bits of these flowers would probably work once we've kind of banged all the seeds out of there. But we'll see how we go. Right, so we have lots of seeds, but we also have lots of debris. So how are we going to get rid of that? Let's give it a shake. hasn't seemed to be making much difference. Let's give it a waft. So I've got a bit of, so ordinarily you'd throw it up into the wind, wouldn't you, and all the lighter stuff would kind of fall away. We'll give it a waft with a lid. Well, that works, doesn't it? Right, so we know that works. So you just give it a waft, get rid of all these bits of flowers which have dried up, although probably quite tasty those. What do they taste like? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So give them a waft, blow away all those debris bits, pick out any bits of things that you can see, let them dry in the sun or in a bag for a couple of days, and then put them in a airtight container, and then use them as a herb or to sprinkle on things. Use them as a spice, sorry, or to sprinkle on things, or grind them up and put them in things to give that garlicky flavour. But there we go. That works. And now I've got a record of how to do it. I think what I could have done is I could have just put them in a paper bag, couldn't I? And then hung them up somewhere, and that would have dried them out, because the paper, the moisture that was evaporating from the seed heads would be absorbed by the paper, so they wouldn't have gone off, which is like the usual kind of trick. But I didn't have a paper bag. You can't just buy a paper bag, can you? Anyway, so that works, and I'll be doing it with the rest of them, and then they might make an appearance somewhere in another video in a few months' time.